Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Jarrett, and today we are going to be learning about new sounds, and then we're going to read a short book, and we're going to learn about some grammar. So, let's start our lesson today by learning about phonics and fluency. The sound we're going to learn today is the AR sound. The letters AR can make the sounds you hear in the middle of barn. So it's when A and R are added together to make a sound, it's an R sound, as in barn. So let's read these words together, and I will read them slowly the first time and fast the second time. So first, we have part, large, sharp, restart, farm, marching, hard, backyard, park, smart, started, artist. Okay, so now I'll read them faster. Part, large, sharp, restart, farm, marching, hard, backyard, park, smart, started, artist. Okay, so those are some sounds. Now let's go to our next page. Let's put those sounds into a sentence. Marge has a large farm with a red barn. She parks her car in the yard. So Marge is a person's name, has a big farm with a red barn. And here's a barn, okay? She parks her car in the yard. So here's her car, and it's parked in the yard. Now, your turn. Look for these words with AR in a barn full of hats. Barn, marched, Clark, farm, yarn, large, smart, apart, barnyard. I'll read them faster one more time. Barn, marched, Clark, farm, yarn, large, smart, apart, barnyard. Okay, now let's start our story. Genre fantasy. Essential question. How can we classify and categorize things? Read about how some farm animals sort hats. So here we can see a horse with a hat on his head, and some trees with apples hanging from them, and a sign that says Clark's Farm. So let's go to our next page. The title of the story is A Barn Full of Hats. So we can see here's the barn again, and here's more animals. Here's a cat wearing a hat, and a pig wearing a hat, and a chicken wearing a hat. And then we can see in the barn there's a box full of hats. So let's go to our next page. One day, 4 farm animals found a box in the barn. They opened it up. What was inside? Hats, hats, and more hats. So we can see here's 4 animals from the farm, and they opened a box in the barn, and there were hats inside. So here's the horse, the chicken, the cat, and the pig. We learned the word 4 this week, right? That means a number. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Now let's go to our next page. Look at all those hats. Who wants one? Asked Hen. I do, cried Horse. It's smart to wear a hat. A hat will keep the sun out of my eyes. So we can see here that all of the 4 animals are looking into the box and trying to see what hat they want to wear. Hen stuck her head in the box. She pulled out a flat, round hat. Try this hat, Hen told Horse. No, that hat is too flat, said Horse. A flat hat makes a good nest, clucked Hen. So she took the hat and she marched away. So here we see the word round. Round is like a circle, right? Round. So the hen took the hat and walked away. Pig pushed his head in the box. He pulled out a bright red hat. Put on this hat, Pig told Horse. No, that hat is too red, said Horse. A red hat looks fine, grunted Pig. So he put on the hat and he marched away. So put means to place on something, right? You can take your pencil and put it on the table, or a hat and put it on your head. So here's the hen with the round hat and the pig with the red hat. So let's see what's next. Cat poked her head in the box. She pulled out a thick yarn hat. Try this hat, Cat told Horse. No, that hat is too thick, said Horse. So here's the cat holding a hat, and it's a thick winter hat. Yarn hats are usually worn in the winter. So the horse said that's too thick. Thick yarn is nice, said Cat. I will take the whole hat apart so I can play with the yarn. She dragged the hat away. So many hats, but none for me, sighed Horse. So we learned this word, whole. Whole means the entire thing, right? It means she will take this hat and turn it all back into yarn. She'll turn the whole hat back into yarn. And we learned this word too, none. None means nothing or zero. So it means that there's 0 hats for the horse. Let's see what happens next. Just then, Farmer Clark came into the barn. His hat was large and floppy. If only I had that hat, said Horse. That hat will shade my eyes. Horse grabbed the hat in his teeth. So again, here's the word large, and large means very big, right? We can see this hat is very, very big. And he said, if only I had that hat. And here, only means that it's something he doesn't have, but having that one thing, only that one thing would make him very happy or would do what he needed. Farmer Clark laughed. He put the hat on Horse. It stayed on with no trouble. It fits well, Farmer Clark said. Horse trotted to the barnyard. Clip, clop. He held his head high. Yes, this is the hat for me, said Horse. Again, trouble means something that's not good and makes something difficult, right? Or hard. But this hat fit on Horse without any trouble. So it means it fit on his head very easily. And it stayed on very easily. And finally, we can look at this picture and see 3 animals here that are so happy. And Horse is happy too. And Farmer Clark is happy that Horse found a hat that he likes. Okay, so now make connections. How can you classify and categorize things to wear? Our essential question. So we can categorize things by where we wear it on our body, right? If we wear it on our head, or if we wear it on our top part of our body, or on our feet, right? We can also categorize things by the season we wear them in. So if it's summer, we might wear short sleeves. If it's winter, we might wear long sleeves, like a sweater. So those are different ways we can categorize things to wear. Okay, let's go to our next page. Comprehension. Point of view. Point of view is the way that a story character thinks or feels. What a character says helps you understand his or her point of view. Find text evidence. Find the point of view of one of the story characters. Page 123, or 123. Look at all those hats. Who wants one? Asked Hen. I do, cried Horse. It's smart to wear a hat. A hat will keep the sun out of my eyes. So here we can see a point of view. It's a way that a character thinks or feels. So the horse said he wants to wear a hat that will keep the sun out of his eyes, right? So that's his view. He doesn't want a small hat, and he doesn't want a hat that has no brim, because if it has just a tight-fitting hat, then it won't keep the sun out of his eyes. And so we see on page 123 what horse wants to wear. So let's go to our next page. Here's a retelling of the story. So we have character, clue, and point of view. So horse is the character. The clue is that he thinks it's smart to wear a hat. The point of view wants something to shade his eyes from the sun. Okay, so we can tell that horse wants something to shade his eyes from the sun. And our clue is that he thinks it's smart to wear a hat. Okay, now our next character is hen. The clue is that hen takes the hat to use as a nest. So the point of view is that hen wants to find good materials for her nest, right? So when hen was looking for hats, she wanted a hat that she could build a nest in. Okay. So cat's point of view was that he or she wants something to play with. And so how can we tell that he or she wants something to play with? We can tell because cat said that it likes the hat made of thick yarn. Remember, the cat said it will take apart the whole hat so they can play with the yarn. Okay, now your turn. Talk about the different points of view in a barn full of hats. So we can go up here and we can see the different points of view. Hen wanted the hat to make a nest. Cat wanted the hat to take it apart to play with yarn. Pig likes the color red, so that's why Pig picked this hat. And horse wants a hat to protect his eyes from the sun. So that's why horse picked a large hat, right? So different animals wanted the hats for different reasons. Okay. Now let's go to the next page. Writing and grammar. Readers 2. Sentence fluency. Mark used complete sentences in his directions. Mark's directions to Farmer Clark's field. Start at the barn and walk to the big fence. Then open the gate so you can go in the field. The field is past the tree. So we can see that if you wanted to go from the barn to Farmer Clark's fields, we could follow Mark's directions and we could get to the field. Okay? So we saw a start. So this is where we start at the barn. And then we have to walk to the big fence. So we start at the barn, look for the big fence. Then open the gate so you can go in the field, and the field is past the tree. So now your turn. Tell how you know Mark's sentences are complete. Tell what you will write directions to. So we can know that Mark's sentences are complete because each sentence has a beginning, a subject, a middle, a verb, and an object. Okay? So he says, you start at the barn and walk to the big fence. So he says, you start, then walk is the verb, and the object is the big fence. Then we see here, he says, you, then, so he's talking to us again, open the gate, so that's the verb, and then so you can go in the field. And so then this is the object. So you, verb, object. Noun, verb, object. The field is past the tree. So here, the subject is the field, and the verb is, and then the object is past the tree. Okay, so these are full, complete sentences. Now let's go to our last page for the day. Read together. Writers, words that join. You can use and, but, or, so, and because to join sentences. Start at the barn and walk to the big fence. So we could say start at the barn, period, walk to the big fence, period. But we used the word and. So we said start at the barn and walk to the big fence. Okay? So those are some ways we can use these words to join sentences together. Now your turn. Find another place in Mark's directions where he joined two sentences. Write two new sentences. Join them using and, but, or, so, or because. Okay, so start at the barn and, so we saw that already. Then open the field, so, here we go. This is the other word, right? So, then open the gate, you can go in the field. Those are two sentences that are combined by the word so. Okay, now let's go and let's finish today's lesson by making our own sentence. So I'll make an answer box here. And let's type our sentences. Okay. We can talk about school first. You like to go to school because you can see your friends there, right? So one sentence is you like to go to school. The other sentence is you can see your friends there. And we combine those two sentences using the word because. Okay? So we can also think of another sentence. After school, you can go to your house or you can go to your friend's house, right? So after school, you can go to your house or you can go to your friend's house, right? And so that, again, is two sentences combined using the word or. All right? So that is all of our lesson for today. So now it's time for me to say bye-bye, okay? But I will see you next time, okay? Bye-bye.